Travel paid for by Nintendo. I have played a ton of Nintendo Switch Lite, and boy, let me tell you, that little system is a whole lot cooler than it has any right to be. But we'll be posting our full impressions and hands-on review video later today, so stay tuned for that. Right now, I want to tell you about a different way to play Switch Lite, a weird way, but maybe one that you've been wondering about. So this is how most people will play Switch Lite in handheld mode, but what if you don't want to play handheld mode? What if you want to play multiplayer? Or what if you want to use your Joy-Con or a Pro Controller? Well, I decided to get a little weird and wild and try out the new mode I'm dubbing Tabletop Lite. Here we are playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with a Joy-Con on Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, obviously, it's a little different than playing tabletop with the regular Switch because there's no kickstand. I had to prop it up against a case, and the screen is smaller. But surprisingly, this worked a whole lot better in practice than it was going to work in my head, because the screen isn't that much smaller. It really isn't that different, and it still was totally viable to enjoy and play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe this way. Now, it might get a little cramped if you have multiple people on the same couch trying to enjoy a game together and stay competitive on a single screen, but honestly, it's not so bad. And I'm sure there will be a number of accessories that help support the Switch Lite in standing up for this playstyle, so while it's not intended, it's totally doable. And I can easily see myself playing Tabletop Lite mode if I wanted to use a Pro Controller, or if I wanted to bring a few friends over with Joy-Con to experience something multiplayer. The screen size is pretty darn comparable, 5.5 inches versus the original Switch at 6.2, and in person it really doesn't look all that smaller. I know the whole point of Switch Lite is to be a portable platform, but I wanted to see if there were other options, because I think for a lot of us, we're really used to the Switch's flexibility, and even though the Switch Lite is enticing, it's a big bummer that it loses so many of the Switch's switchable options. And I just wanted to verify that this would work, and work in a pretty darn good way. There might be a game or two where you just absolutely prefer the Pro Controller. I know that's how I am, so I wanted to test this out and bring the results to you. Plus, if you haven't heard, the ABXY buttons on the Switch Lite are different from the ABXY buttons on the regular Switch Joy-Con. They are far squishier. We lose the clicky buttons that we've become accustomed to on the Joy-Con, and we get squishy buttons that are much more similar to past handhelds or the Pro Controller itself. So similarly, if there's some of you that love the Joy-Con or just have grown really used to how they feel, well, you can connect your own Joy-Con and avoid the squishiness of the new ABXY. So there you have it, Tabletop Lite mode. What do you think? Would you ever play the Switch Lite with a different controller? Is that something that you can see yourself doing, or will you be handheld only if you pick up one of these colorful new iterations? Definitely let me know in the comments down below. Everybody hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are excited for Nintendo Switch Lite, and then come back later today for our full video where we'll be going into much more nitty-gritty detail on how the system feels, how it plays, all the elements, and then eventually our recommendation on if this thing is worth it. But in the meantime, everybody, thanks again for watching. Have a fantastic day. SwitchForce out.